These 7 lessons will get you girls so fast it feels illegal, starting with the mental game that you need to win. This is the key to success. It's the way that you interpret things and perceive the world. With the right mindset, you will stay successful for the long run, but without it, you will struggle with dating. There is no in between. This first mindset shift is an absolute game changer. At 19, I got broken up with and realized that I was actually pretty shit at dating. I failed miserably at a relationship and I'd struggled to get girls in the past before that. And this is when I decided to start treating dating like a skill that I could level up, and realizing that there was many sub-skills within the broader skill of dating, like courage, communication, social and emotional intelligence. The list goes on. And that if I developed every one of these sub-skills and applied them all to dating, I would have success in the long run. And this allowed me to detach from the outcome in the short term and focus on developing the long-term skills that would give me the success I ultimately wanted. Once you're treating dating like a skill, adopting this next mindset shift will allow you to never fear rejection again. Over the last 3 years, I have made countless amounts of mistakes, setbacks, embarrassments within dating. And when I was younger, the thing is, I would let one of those set me back for months. Even just something like getting rejected from a girl that I really liked and built up in my head and played up this fantasy would make me upset with dating and not want to pursue a girl for another few months after that. So, when you understand that everything is getting you closer to your desired goal, the good and the bad, you no longer fear rejections because it just teaches you something to kind of allow you to course correct. Think of it like a missile. When a missile's flying through the sky and it's getting guidance, it makes slight mistakes. But every time it makes that mistake, it just course corrects. And now it knows where not to go. And this is kind of how you can treat dating, because if you don't get that real life experience, it's going to be very hard for you to just know yourself what works and what doesn't work. So you kind of just have to go out there and experience all the good and the bad. And this is ultimately going to only lead you closer to your end desired goal. And this last mindset shift will make you a magnetic person that girls are drawn to. So before 19, I did not have a magnetic personality in the slightest. I was very negative. I always had the victim mentality. And like I told you earlier, if one bad thing happened, I would be upset about it for months. And this was very much my mindset at the time. And at 19, I got onto holistic self-improvement. I learned about gratitude journaling, and this improved my mental health so much. And I thought, well, what if I applied this to dating? So I started to use gratitude journaling within dating, always expressing gratitude for any sort of progress, any bad thing that happened also, but something that I could have made into a positive as well. So for example, even if I got rejected, I would say I'm grateful for showing courage and going up and doing a cold approach even when I was scared. So anything, the good and the bad, all became positive, and it was all helping me get closer to my goals. And this allowed me to be very positive as a whole in the scene of dating, never getting upset about anything bad that happened, and always just keeping an air of positivity, always seeing that there's always opportunity and potential out there. And gratitude journaling is one of the ways to really solidify that, constantly reaffirming to your mind that positivity and continuing on the upward trajectory that you need to have, so you don't have those upsets and those setbacks, the downs that can come with dating, because there's ultimately going to be ups and downs. But if you are just positive all the time, being grateful for everything, you're not going to feel them as badly. And this first aspect is key to getting girls so fast it feels illegal. So about 3 years ago, before I was dating my ex, she was the only girl that I was talking to and had talked to for months. So as you can imagine, I was obsessed with her. And when she was texting me if she left me undelivered, I would be all nervous, worrying if she liked me, if she didn't like me. And this just wasn't a healthy mentality to have with dating. Now, I talk to so many girls that I don't even know if they leave me undelivered, read, opened. I just have new ones that I'm already talking to. And if someone falls out of the talking stage, I really don't care. I'm constantly pursuing new girls, getting new girls into the funnel, as we can refer to sales. And that's just how it is. This is going to allow you to operate from an abundance mindset instead of a scarcity one like I had 3 years ago with my ex. The scarcity mindset will never do you well. You need to have an abundance mindset. You need to be speaking to a lot of girls. This is so important. And also, the more that you practice, the better you're going to get. So the key here in this lesson is it is a volume game. You need to be talking to as many girls as possible if you truly want to have that level of success. Here, the practical advice I can give you is just be talking to as many girls as possible and meeting as many as you can. So whether that's the bars and clubs. That's one of my absolute favorite spots to meet people. If you meet people at the gym, if there's social events that you can go to, anything that you can do to get social. Obviously you can use Tinder and dating apps, but they're not really my preference. And that is pretty much what's going to allow you to have tons and tons of success, is constantly meeting new girls. If you don't have a lead flow coming in, like in sales, then you're really going to struggle, because if one doesn't work out, then you're back to square one. And now you got to restart that whole process, and you probably build things up in your mind and overplay them. And it's just not healthy. You need to have abundance. You need to just be seeing which girls end up working out and which girls don't, because you'd be surprised how many don't work out. One of my biggest struggles when I was younger was how to actually start the conversation and keep it going. So if you can nail this, you will be in a really good position. I remember watching an Ashton Kutcher movie called Spread when I was younger. And he said something in the beginning of it along the lines of, there is no pickup line, the only thing you can do, and then he like asks the girl her name, and that's like his intro and opener. And it really resonated with me. And that has been my go-to since, and it has worked like a gem. So the practical advice here is, all you need to do when you start talking to a girl is ask her her name. Along with that, you can ask her some personal questions about herself, like where's she from, if she's working or if she's in school, what she's studying, things like that to get the conversation going, keeping the focus of the conversation mostly on her. Obviously answering questions if she asks you, but you don't need to go on about yourself. Really try and field the questions back to her as much as you can and try and get to know her. This is gonna be a great conversation, and it can genuinely be that simple. It doesn't have to be anything more than a simple opener of asking her her name and then asking her some personal questions. And if the conversation goes well, you can take it as far as you want. And if it doesn't go well, then you just simply leave and say it was a pleasure to meet you. And that is the conversation advice that I wish I knew when I was younger. Once you've embodied everything I've taught you so far, you will have plenty of success with girls. But let me give you the game advice that's gonna give you unlimited success in the long run. So at 19 years old, I started on holistic self-improvement, trying to really focus on leveling up my life in every single aspect. I started with some of the basics like reading, meditating, journaling. I got into sales and I started to learn that. Then I got into online business, and I've just done so many things over the years, like comfort zone challenges, doing cold approaches at the start. That's what was so scary for me. Now, eventually, it's like traveling to new countries by myself. I'm currently in Norway, know absolutely no one here. These are the things that I've been doing to level up my character constantly and become the man I want to be. And the lesson here is that self-improvement is going to be the best game that you will ever run. The more attractive you are as a man across the board because you've been focusing on leveling yourself up and developing, it's just going to allow you to get girls easier and faster. So this video has been very much like a little bit of like a delayed gratification mindset. But ironically, if you stayed until the end, the trick is that this delayed gratification mindset is actually going to start getting you success quicker than if you were to just start searching out for some like quick trick or some Tinder lines that you can use that are going to get you girls, because those are never going to work. There's no substitute for being the man. You have to be the man. It's just that simple. And this is actually what's going to get you girls so fast it feels illegal. The time when I was 19 and went from that like soy boy little bitch when I was upset after my breakup, I did self-improvement for about 3 or 4 months. And then I went to Sweden as a new version of myself that I had supreme confidence, and I slept with 7 girls in 5 weeks. So things can really change for you if you just apply everything I'm teaching you and you really try and become the best version of yourself. But it has to come from within. You have to be willing to put in that work, and you will get girls so fast it feels illegal. If you could tell me now, sacrifice 3 months and really work hard and develop yourself to get with 7 girls in 5 weeks and then continue to have success for the rest of your life, as long as you keep up those habits like I have, I would have done that every single day of the week. So this is really what's going to start giving you that ultimate long-term success that you want. Boys, if you're tired of being ignored and rejected by women and not having any success with dating, that's exactly why I built my free course teaching you exactly how to become irresistible to girls and start getting more dates than you could imagine. That's going to be the first link in the description. It's completely free. Go ahead and grab that now.